That'll do. Scania time again. Done a little bit more with the GPM products, a bit more with the grand hauler. My own time I've been pissing about with these beadlock wheels and I've threaded a nut. So I'm going to have to get the grinder out later and do that. Scania time. So last Friday we started the construction and we got this basic ladder done and front suspension mounts and stuff like that in place. I always check when you're fitting these to make sure that you've got everything the right way up and all in the right order and stuff. Now basically all I'm going to do is get this front axle constructed and placed onto the chassis, so I'll go through that one with you. So like with a grand hauler, I build that up on a step-by-step basis. This, we're just kind of free building it, if you will. It's just going to make it easier for prepping for when I come to paint it. So things like the suspension, at this point you would be fitting these here ready to attach up to the leaf spring setup, which will be here. But we're going to be giving that a miss for the minute. One reason is this chassis is going to be resprayed. I'm not sure what colour it's going to be sprayed yet, but basically there's certain parts which can't be sprayed over, or don't need to be sprayed over, should we say. So I just want the basic chassis and all the parts that I do want spraying, and then they can all be sprayed together while it's built up. The servo is not a problem, we can mask the wire and we can mask round there, that's not an issue, but it only takes 2 minutes to take that out anyway. So all I'm going to be doing now is basically building up the front axle and fitting that to the truck here. So if you're building off a manual, we've ignored the side mount servo because we're going with the gear servo to use for the steering, as this one's just going to be locked into the second gear, so there's no need for a servo shift rod or the servo itself to control that, so we can utilise that up the front for the steering. So we're ignoring that, we're ignoring the dampers. Moving on to this bit, it's just the axle construction and just fitting that. So these are the bits and bobs we're working with. Not much, as I say. Basically, all you want to do is take the front axle, just flip it upside down, one of these plates on top, one of your springs. If you look on the underside of the axle, there's a groove lipped out in there, and pop that into place, and then you've got these little brackets here. All they're going to do, slot over the axle, and as you can see, when we put the flange nuts onto there, I'll just put one on each for the minute, just so as that holds it for me. And then once tightened, that'll clamp the spring up to the axle. So I'm going to tighten that up and just repeat for this side. So now that's the basic axle with the leaves bracketed on there, constructed. What we're going to do now is put the little suspension mounting brackets on there, and then we'll fit this to the truck. So for the little suspension bracket, as you can see in the front of the axle, there's a little threaded hole in there. Just gonna screw that on there with a 6mm screw and a little blob of Loctite. So now to fit the axle, we're just going to make up a little bracket which is going to sit in the first hole and there on either side of the chassis. That way we can take the rear end of the leaves. We're going to require these two little bits and one of the Q parts and the MB ones. You want it looking like so. And the smaller of one of the Q rings. So coming up the side of the chassis, ignore these first holes on one side, you'll have 4 on one and none on the other. That's just where a little bracket goes for the servo mechanism, so as that can control the steer rod. And we come into the third hole, just wash that in there, and from the back of the chassis, just a little lock nut onto there. Tighten them up and repeat for the other side of the chassis. Again, coming up from the front, working your way up, and it's the first of the 3 holes. And to install this leaf spring, simple. Make sure the brackets are at the front, and what you're doing is seating the leaves into them brackets, and then we're just going to nut and bolt them on there. Really, for that one, just a quick basic axle install, and we'll come to do the rest of it next time. We'll finish off and we'll put the steering knuckles in, and we'll also install the gearbox and get the mounts in for the rear axle next time also. Now GPM do a quality upgrade axle. I'll drop the video in at the end of this video so you guys can see that. But it's a much improved axle up on the Tamiya axle. You'll see all that in the video, but where you get play in the Tamiya axle, the GPM axle, you get no play whatsoever. It is a quality axle, and if you're building a custom truck or a rat rod or something like that, then the design I've gone for is perfect for that. They do the original design axle, which is the same as this. Again, no play, improved steering angle and everything else, and they are a good quality, precisely machined part. And I'm coming across a lot of GPM products, awesome products, so you may want to just fly over to their website. I'll drop their website in this description, but yeah, go and have a see. There might be a little something on there that you might be after, and it's all affordable, good quality parts. So next time, as I said, we'll continue with some of the rear axle bracket, finishing the steering knuckles, gearbox. But for now, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday. Ciao for now. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment down below. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit that bell button. If you already are subscribed, then thanks very much for your support, guys, and I shall catch you guys in the next video. Have a lovely weekend.